I am looking for a D&D group for a new campaign I'm running. It is going to be a Forgotten Realms campaign, and in this video, I'm going to go over a lot of the things people will see when they play in my campaign. So let's get into it. So basically, what I am looking to do is run in the overall concept. The overall concept is I am looking to run a Forgotten Realms module-based campaign where we start in Phandelver, and there's two different modules I can run for a starting campaign: the Lost Mines Adventures or the Icespire's Peak Adventures. Then from there, it becomes a long-running campaign tied to other adventures and modules in Faerun, in the Forgotten Realms, but starting in the region of Neverwinter. There's a couple adventures that it can branch off into that way. So that's like the overall concept in its simplest form. With that, you guys already know I do DM mechanics videos. I have added a lot of customizations. I'm a writer, I'm a game designer, I'm an actor, but with this situation, I can focus on more of the game design aspect as opposed to writing, because I've written my own adventures, I've written my own worlds, and in this situation, I can instead focus on enhancing the game as it exists, and so that's what I've done. There's a lot of things that people will see, look forward to, such as, for me at least, factions. Factions will be a pivotal role as it is in the Forgotten Realms. I'm being very true to the setting, so if anyone likes the Forgotten Realms lore and the Forgotten Realms setting and the vibe of these factions, for instance, it's being very true to that and how they have an impact in the world, and you can have an impact joining the factions. I have little scrolls or images of some of the faction things I've already created, taking a lot of inspiration from online work that people have done a lot of fan work, and so I'm compiling that into something that also makes sense for the rules, as people can gain renown all the way from 1 to 50 in these factions, getting real benefits. Also including henchmen and followers. This is not something specific to Forgotten Realms, but this is something that's going to have a lot of structure and rules into it. So I've got 3 tiers of followers and ways to earn them, 3 different ways to earn them. And that's all broken down nicely in my documents that I'll hand to players. For the setting, there will also be weather and travel and food and a little bit more of a grittiness when it comes to going places. It's gonna be pretty simple travel for where we're starting, like 1 hour per hex movement, and you could move like 8 hours a day. But then if we start in a Dragon Icespire setting, there'll be winter time, so that'll be an issue to deal with, and there'll be like a table for winter occurrences like extreme cold or precipitation or strong winds. And then if we play in the more classic or neutral kind of weather setting in the fall for the Lost Mines adventure, that'll be a little more varied as far as we're not dealing with winter time yet, so you might just have precipitation and strong winds. I've also been working on recently, I don't quite have it ready yet, but there'll be urban encounters as well as the wilderness encounters that you would explore. So every day there'll be a chance for those things to happen, to occur and affect the party, or the party can affect changes in the town. There's going to be pre-made characters that I provide for you guys. There are pre-made characters in the Lost Mine Adventure. If people want to use that, you're more than welcome. They're great. But I will also make some more. I have some made already for the Dragon of Icespire Peak, and then I will make more for Lost Mines Adventure. So yeah, I'm really excited for this for a lot of reasons. I love the Forgotten Realms lore. I've read a lot of the books, and for a long time stayed away from modules. I've played them before, I've run them before, but as far as like a main thing to do, I've avoided them, doing more homebrew content. But I wanted to kind of get into it, and I was curious. This all came from a place of curiosity where I just wanted to see if there was any continuity between the different modules that Wizards of the Coast have made for specifically the 2014 5th edition when that all came out. And what I found, to my surprise, was there was a lot of continuity, a lot of thought. Not every module fits within Neverwinter or the Forgotten Realms, but there is a lot of content there to work with. And when needed, I can obviously write new adventures and make new pathways when the party wishes to go that way. But just as far as like getting characters from level 1 to 20, there's plenty of content for which to do that in one setting, which I find super fascinating. I find super cool. Another thing I should mention, I have a whole XP system, a custom XP system for social side of things. Not just social, but like it could be in combat too, but it's not from the combat of killing a monster or killing a creature. It's from the moments that happen, and I have a whole breakdown on how that works. And so I'm going to be doing XP leveling. It's not going to be milestones, it's going to be XP, which I'm very excited for. I've been playtesting it for a while. I'm enjoying it. And what that means is that players can look forward to not only earning the XP each session, keeping the XP on the player. And then I'll have characters, this roster of pre-made characters. I'll add more as new adventures come out and the party heads towards these new adventures, that they can switch out, use their XP, whatever XP level that equates to, and have that new character start at that XP. It's not the character's XP, it's the player's XP, and they can take it with them. And so if they find a nice spot to let their character story rest for a bit, not end it, but maybe rest, they could do that and play as a new character. So I'm hoping, for me, what this is creating is a very living world where you can run into your own characters and each other's own characters and see the change they're affecting and help it or hinder it or just think it's cool. I'm hoping that that'll really add a lot of believability, because there are other adventurers in the world and you can help populate them. If you're going to be playing as a wizard or a spellcaster, which I will be talking about this, we're going to be using certain types of spellcasters, not clerics, not druids, certain types. We're going to be using the spellcasting rules I have made. I made them for this Forgotten Realms setting. I'm going to be changing the exhaustion. I'm using an older rule set for exhaustion. The AD&D has an older rule set because I just find it a lot more flexible, and instead of making exhaustion quickly lead to character deaths or party members or parties backing out of combats and things, instead it can just be a small debuff, because it said you go from the -1 to the -10, which is death, but there's a lot of leeway in that. On top of that, I'm doing a dying condition. I got this one from level 3 XP. I totally butchered the YouTube name, but yeah, I have an inspiration system that I've been using for a very long time, and that I've recently added dual inspiration, which basically all that means is I have an inspiration system where instead of doing the typical get advantage or something like that, you now have different things you can use your inspiration for. Like sometimes you can get spell slots back, or you can use it to get some temporary HP, or you can use it to automatically stabilize if you're on, doing death saves. You can use it for actions, like an action surge type thing where you get a surging strike, or move yourself up or down one initiative. A lot of ways you can use it. Now the dual one is if two people have inspiration, they can put them together for a more bigger combo that can turn the tide. Calendar and days. This is something I've been playing with on and off for a long time. I'm getting into calendar and days, as in we'll be tracking the days and the dates and everything, because I enjoy how the modules have dates and dates. And so I'd like to kind of keep it consistent. That's why, like, when we go to play the Dragon of Ice Peak Spire adventure, it'll start in, I think it's called Hammer Time. No, that's not it. It's called something. Hammer something. The month basically started kicking off winter, where winter will come early and harsh. And so I feel like that's very fitting to then have those like dates and try to keep track of those things. And the date system for the Forgotten Realms is very easy, which I enjoy, because then it doesn't, because I'm a little new to like calendars and stuff. Here it is. Hammer. It's called Hammer. Yeah, the Lost Mines adventure is going to be set more in Nighthall, which is the drawing down. So like we're talking like late fall, and then there's a couple months of winter. There's Hammer and Altruic. Those are like your two main months. Well, actually no, there's a couple months, because then there's like Chess, Tars. Yes, there's a while for winter, but the adventure, however long it lasts, and then we'll look at other adventures modules and figure out where the timeline fits with that. The time setting will be the 1479 DR, Dale Reckoning. So that's also going to be 28 years after the eruption of Mount Hope now, which is important for the setting for Phandelver and for Thunder Tree nearby, and for all these little interesting areas. Money will be tracked. I don't think this is a big topic, but I know sometimes I've personally played in campaigns where it felt like money didn't matter at all, like small change and stuff. But in this campaign, copper, silver, gold will all matter, especially when you start out, obviously at level 1. You'll be spending money at inns and, keeping up on your gear and, buying rations. And so it's not going to be like to the point where it's like number crunching math purgatory, but it will be a factor regularly that will be more interesting than just waving a hand and it's figured out sort of thing. When you get to higher levels where you have like access to a lot of resources, well then obviously it should fall off at those levels for things like tavern inn stays and whatnot. Oh, this is a digital online campaign. I'm gonna have maps for everything. I'll have ambient music, which I love. I will have not just battle maps, but also like roleplay maps. So like places where you frequent to do your socializing. I'll have maps for that. I'll have maps for traveling encounters. I just really am grateful to the community that I'm building around. I hope that I can build this with you guys. This is not an update video, but I will mention that I'm focusing more on the campaign, but also the channel being about a few things. It's about getting a group going for this campaign that I'm very excited about. It's about continuing to talk about DM mechanics because I've enjoyed the reactions and the community engagement around that. It's going to continue with the fantasy acting challenges and the DM rants, of course. Yeah, this is just a really exciting chapter, and I'm going to start making these types of videos every other week where I'll be talking about more in-depth things of the campaign and just giving people more insight, getting them excited. I might even make this video like a teaser video where I don't give everything and maybe I sparse some things out here and there, kind of like I've been doing with my players. I will tell DMs, little tip, because I may do this for the video, putting one thing a week out there as like a little teaser to get people excited for your campaign is the #1 way to ramp up a campaign. So all these documents I've mentioned, I've been teasing them out to my other group, and I would just like an extra group to play with. So if you want to join, go to Start Playing, and I will have, at this point when the video is posted, there'll be an adventure ready to join. I do have a time selected. I'm flexible with that time. If people want to message me and that time doesn't work for them and they have a different time in mind, just join and chat with me, and I'll try to make sure I have the Discord link dropped with the adventure or however that works on the Start Playing website. But yeah, I'm flexible with that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and this is gonna be awesome. Merry Christmas.